Good morning, everyone. Today I'll start heights and distances. This chapter, heights and distances, is the important application of trigonometry. Height and distances is basically used for the measurement of tall objects such as building, mountain, where we cannot physically measure it, or we can calculate distance between the objects. In heights and distances, we will be dealing with four important terms. The first important term is called T ratio. T ratio stands for trigonometrical ratio. Second topic is right angled triangle. Third one is angle of elevation. Fourth one is angle of depression. These are four terms you'll be needing it to solve sums from height and distance. Let's discuss each term individually. T ratio stands for trigonometrical ratios, and this trigonometrical ratios you have already done in class 9. There are 6 trigonometrical ratios. The first one is sine theta. This is ratio of perpendicular to hypotenuse. Second one is cos. It is base upon hypotenuse. Third one is tan. It is perpendicular upon base. And you have cosec, which is reciprocal of sine. You have sec, which is reciprocal of cos. You have tan, cot, reciprocal of tan. So there are 6 trigonometrical ratios which we can use to solve the sums from height and distance. And out of these 6, tan is very, very important. In around 90% of the sums you have to use tan. Apart from these trigonometrical ratios, you have to remember trigonometrical ratios of standard angles. And mostly standard angles will be 30, 45 and 60. So you need to memorize these values. Sine 30 degree is equal to half. Sine 45 degree is equal to 1 divided by root 2. Sine 60 degree is equal to root 3 divided by 2. Second one for cos 30 degree is equal to root 3 divided by 2. Cos 45, which is equal to 1 divided by root 2. Cos 60 degrees equals to 1 divided by 2. The third one is tan. Tan 30 degrees is 1 divided by root 3. Tan 45 degrees equals to 1. And tan 60 degrees equals to root 3. Out of these values, tan is again important. The values for the standard angles. Number 4th one, root 2, has a fixed value. It is 1.414. Root 3, this is equal to 1.722. So first topic is trigonometrical ratios. 6 trigonometrical ratios. Out of 6, you need to remember sine, cos and tan. And you have to pay more attention to this tan. Around 90% of the sums from the exercise is based on tan. Now second topic, second term is right angle triangle. Heights and distances is based on a right angle triangle. Right angle triangle is a triangle in which one of the angle is 90 degree. 90 degree. You need to remember the sides of the right angle triangle. The side opposite to 90 degree is called hypotenuse. Hypotenuse, the side opposite to given angle theta is called perpendicular. And the third one is called base. So basically height and distance is based on a right angled triangle. You need to read the statement given in the question and draw a right angle triangle. Values will be given, you substitute and then apply the trigonometrical ratio to solve the question. Now look at the third one. Third one is called angle of elevation. Angle of elevation. Consider a tall tower. AB is a tower. A is the top of the tower and B is the foot of the tower. A man is standing at some distance from the foot of the tower. He is standing at a distance from the foot of the tower. Now he is looking at the top of the tower. The line which is getting formed between his eyesight and the top of the tower is called line of sight. Line of sight. And the angle formed between line of sight and the horizontal line is called angle of elevation. Angle of elevation. Angle of elevation. Please do remember the angle formed between line of sight and the horizontal line is called angle of elevation. Or you can remember other way. The angle formed between hypotenuse and base of a right angle triangle is called angle of elevation. Second one is angle of depression. Angle of depression. AB is a tower. A is the top of the tower, B is the foot of the tower. There is an object on the ground at a distance from the foot of the tower, say C. A man is standing at the top of the tower and he is looking at the object C. And as he is looking at the object C, the line of sight is AC. AC is called line of sight. The angle formed between the line drawn parallel to the base and hypotenuse is called angle of depression. Angle of depression. Angle of depression. The line drawn parallel to the base and hypotenuse forms an angle. This angle is known as angle of depression. If you look at this diagram, ABC, write this one as D. The base of the triangle is parallel to the broken line drawn here, imaginary line. And this line of sight is called transversal. And when you have angle of depression will be equal to angle of elevation, because alternate opposite angles are equal. These two angles are alternate opposite angles because lines are parallel transversal. So whenever you are given with angle of depression, you draw the diagram, use this angle of depression to get angle of elevation, and then proceed with calculation. So these are 4 important terms you need to remember to solve the sums from heights and distances. I told you heights and distances is the branch of trigonometry, important branch of trigonometry, which deals with the measurement of tall objects such as building, mountain, or distance between the objects which we cannot physically measure it. We need to know the values of angle of elevation or depression and the distance. We can calculate the height, or height is known, angle of elevation is known, we can calculate the distance between the objects. I'll show you the application of all these terms which I gave, 4 terms. Let's consider this. The angle of elevation. The angle of elevation of a top of a tree. The angle of elevation of a top of a tree from a point on the ground is 30 degrees. If the distance between the point and the foot of the tree is 100 meters, calculate the height of the tree. Height of the tree. So what do? We draw the relevant diagram, and it is always a right angle triangle. You name this figure as ABC. If you look at the given diagram, you know angle of elevation, you know base, the distance between the foot of the tower, foot of the tree and point. You have to calculate height of the tree, means we are asked to calculate perpendicular, base is given, and angle of elevation is given. Let AB be the height of tree. We assume AB as the height of the tree. Now we use triangle, in triangle ABC. It is a right angle triangle. If you look at this, we do not know perpendicular, the height, and base is given. You need to understand which trigonometrical ratio has perpendicular and base. There are 3. We cannot use sine because sine is perpendicular upon hypotenuse. We cannot use cos because it is based upon hypotenuse. Tan, which is equals to perpendicular upon base. So we have a trigonometrical ratio which has perpendicular and base. So we use this to calculate the height. Tan theta is equal to perpendicular upon base. Tan 30 degree. Perpendicular is AB, base is BC. Now we start substituting the value. Tan 30 degree is 1 divided by root 3. We have to calculate perpendicular, base is 100. Now we cross multiply. AB is equals to 100 divided by root 3. You should not leave it like this, rationalize it. Calculation will be easier. 100 root 3 divided by 3 meter. Application of right angle triangle, trigonometrical ratio an angle of elevation. Look at this. Let's do easy sums from the exercise. Easier ones first. Question number 1. You have to read the question carefully, and once you read, you have to draw a relevant diagram. An electric pole, vertical line drawn is considered as electric pole. I'm changing the value 20 meter high, and its shadow is cast on the ground. It is 20√3 meter. Find the elevation of the sun. So we join it so that we get a right angle triangle. Question says that calculate angle of elevation theta. Name it as ABC. We know perpendicular, base is known. Question says that calculate angle of elevation in triangle ABC. Tan theta is equals to perpendicular upon base, because tan has both perpendicular and base. Tan theta perpendicular is 20 divides by 20√3. Simplify the right hand side. Tan theta is equals to 1 divides by √3. Which trigonometrical tan is equals to 1 upon √3? Tan 30 degree is equals to tan theta is equals to 30 degree, because tan 30 is 1 upon √3. Tan equal to tan, therefore theta is 30 degree. Angle of elevation of the sun is 30 degree when we have height and the base is given. Similarly, you can do question number 1. I have changed the value. You can use the value from the exercise and solve it. Look at question number 2. Question says that angle of elevation of the top of a tower. Vertical line is tower. Angle of elevation of a tower from a point on the ground. You mark a point on the ground. Angle of elevation is given. At a distance of 150 meter, I'll change this value. Take it as 60 meter. From its foot is 30 degree. Angle of elevation is the angle between line of sight and the base. Question says that calculate the height of the tower. Height of the tower. Name it as ABC. Similar question. We know angle of elevation, base is given, perpendicular is asked to calculate. Assume, let AB be the height. And once you do the assumption for height, use a suitable trigonometrical ratio, and tan has perpendicular base in triangle ABC. Tan theta is equals to perpendicular upon base. Tan 30 degree, perpendicular is AB, base is BC. Tan 30 is 1 divides by √3 equal to 18 divides by 60. Cross multiply to make subject of formula. √3 AB is equals to 60. AB equals to 60 divides by √3. If you substitute the value of √3 here as 1.732, division will be difficult. So we rationalize it so that calculation becomes easier. 60√3 divides by 3 20 times. You get 20√3. Now substitute 20 into 1.732. multiply this, you get 4, 6, 34, 0, put decimal meter. Height of the tower is 34.64 meter. Question number, I'll do similar sum. Please do practice from the exercise using the values given. Look at question number 3. A ladder is placed against a wall. So you have vertical wall and ladder is always inclined to the wall. Ladder. The foot of the ladder is 1.5 meter away from the wall. So I'll change this value and make it 4.5 meter from the wall. Inclined at 60 degree. Inclined at 60 degree. Find the height of the wall. Similar question. Name it as A, B, C. Ladder is placed against a wall at a distance of 4.5 meter from the foot. Angle of elevation is 60 degree. Calculate the height. Let AB be the height of the wall. You take AB as the height of the wall. Now we use in triangle. Mention the name of the triangle. Tan theta is perpendicular upon base. Tan 60 degree perpendicular is AB, base is BC. Substitute tan 60 is root 3. AB divides by 4.5. AB is equal to 4.5 multiplied by root 3. And once you know this, 4.5 multiplied by 1.732, multiply this, you get the answer, height of the wall. I'll be doing same question. Look at this. A ladder is placed against a wall such that it just reaches the top of the wall. If the length of the ladder is 50 meter, if the length of the ladder is 50 meter, calculate the height of the wall. Height of the wall. So question says that height and length of the ladder is given. So if you look at this right angle triangle, you know hypotenuse perpendicular is asked to calculate. Same assumption, let AB be the height of the wall. In triangle ABC. Now you have to start assuming which trigonometrical ratio should we use which has hypotenuse and perpendicular. You can't use tan because tan is perpendicular upon base. Can't be used cos based upon hypotenuse. You can't use sine. Sine is perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So sine is the trigonometrical ratio which has perpendicular and hypotenuse. So we write sine theta equals to perpendicular upon hypotenuse sine 60 degree. Perpendicular is AB and hypotenuse is AC. Sine 60 is root 3 divided by 2. AB you have to calculate. AC is 50. Now cross multiply. 2 multiplies AB is equal to 50 root 3. AB equals to 50 root 3 divided by 2. Cancel it. 25 root 3. 25 multiplied 1.732. Multiply this, you get the answer for the height of the wall when hypotenuse is given. So these are easy sums. I'll be doing more sums in upcoming videos. Please do remember, height and distance is based on 4 important terms: trigonometrical ratio, right angle triangle, angle of elevation and angle of depression. Memorize T ratio and the standard angles value for each T ratio. Thank you very much. Stay safe.